Hey everybody, how are you doing today? First of all, I want to say thank you for joining me. This is our next installment on the Idea Book Challenge. It is being done through our Facebook group. The name of that group I'll have down below in a link, and it's stitching, fabric, papers, and more. So we're all using a notebook of some sort. Everybody's is different. It can be whatever you want. So I was going to go through mine a little bit. This was our first week. And since the collage is mine, I didn't write anything because I don't think I'll forget that. But I wanted to show you some of the things I've done. And I wrote on there what each item is. This one was the shaving cream and the stick and that, and I just put them all together until I decide exactly where they're going to go in the book. And now we're going to get to this week's, and this is actually the page it's going to go on, which is really strange. I know. I'm putting it all together this time, so we're going to set this aside for now, and I will get what we're making. This is what we're going to make today, is this little pocket. This is made with a time card. It's super easy, and I mean, it's just another pocket. Everybody makes pockets, and I know that. But this was just something fun, and besides, I was at Sam's and I bought time cards. I have 500 of them to use up. So here's what we do. Now I did, for those of you who don't have a time card or access, cardstock's going to be just fine. So I took the measurements. This is 9 by 3 3/8. And we are going to fold it at 4 3/4. Helps if you turn the ruler the right way. This is one of those weird rulers where the measurements are actually go clear to the end. That's a pretty rare thing anymore. So I'm marking at 4 3/4 just so I can see where I'm bending it. And I'm just going to put a fold. And this isn't the only way. This is just how I did it. And for the first time I took all the measurements while I did it, so I thought that was pretty cool. And it doesn't matter which side you have up or back. It's totally whatever you like. So what I did next is on one side I measured down 2 1/2, and on the other side I measured down from this end, and in fact let's keep it open just so it makes it easier to see, at 1 1/2. And then I'm going to connect that right there to that one right there and draw my line. Now I'm going to attempt cutting a straight line even with a drawn line. I usually use my cutter, but I just don't want to reach for it. Is that lazy or what? So now we have this, and you can put this however you want. I kind of like that. This is what I did on this. And you can glue this, you could staple it, you could sew it. You don't have to do anything across the bottom because you've already got the fold. You can decorate it however you'd like. And I'm actually going to do the round the corners because I thought it looked kind of nice that way. And it just kind of makes it look a little more, I don't know, professional, soft, all those above. So you can do this and decorate however you want. This one here, I painted it. I took some turquoise paint, put it on my little bitty jelly plate because I like to use that as a palette, and I just painted it, which is all you have to do. And you don't have to paint both sides. You don't have to paint all of it because, you know, you're going to glue it down in something. And I stepped out for a minute. I wanted to get my paint in my brayer. And isn't my brayer pretty? I love all that color on there. Wish I could take it all off in one piece. Wouldn't that be cool? So I'm just going to put a little bit of paint. Whoa, that's way more than I need. Just a little bit of paint. We're going to do another turquoise one. And not because turquoise is just my favorite color. Nope. It's partially because that was the only paint that was out. So I'm just going to paint that. And it doesn't have to be totally painted. It doesn't have to be any painted. You could use it as it is, and that'll still be pretty cool. So guess who painted the back? I know, that's an easy fix. We can just do this. Gonna get the brayer. And you can brayer it, or you can put it on here and get your ink or your paint. So, by the magic of television, it's dry. This time I thought, instead of doing the little collaged parts, which is really cool. I mean, you know, it's totally whatever you want. I have to say that this floral image was one magazine cutout, and I used it for this whole thing. And then I actually made me a paper clip to match it from Rhonda's video last week. So this time I am going to stamp, because I thought that would be different too. So there's just absolutely no specific way that you have to do this. And in case you're watching, yes, I know this part's backwards now, but we're just going to go with the flow here. I'm just going to add a little stamping. I'm going to stamp this one. We're going to use this side. It's still pretty cool. You know, I can take it over here. My brayer's laying right here. Just put a little bit of paint on it. Hit and miss. Ta-da! I didn't really just do ta-dum, did I? I did. So, for ease, if you wanted to, you could just staple it. I'm just going to staple this one right here, and then again over here, leaving it still open. And I'm going to do like I did on this one. All of this is hand-drawn lines, and it just makes it look kind of a little more personal. I took a doodling class one time, and an online class. It was Joanne Sharp, and she said something like, the first line isn't the only line when you doodle. And that's something I think about a lot. So I usually do multiple lines and scribble, but my paint really is not dry enough for my pen. So we'll fix that, and we'll use a pencil. And it's still cool. Just gives you some different textures and designs. So you get this done, you can use your glue and do a fine little edge on this, if you're not going to sew it, or if you're not going to staple the whole thing, and this will help it hold. And the tiny little edge lets you have plenty of room in your pocket for whatever it is that you want to put in there. So it's pretty simple, this version's a little more detailed, but it just goes to show you can do whatever you want. So we made this, and it goes here, and it looks good, but as I was playing around, did do another paper clip too. I was looking at it this way, and I was like, you know, if you were making this and putting it in a journal, with the thought of maybe this is part of the gift, is a couple of paper clips. You could actually just put them right on here and it still looks pretty cool. You can take a piece of paper, you know, we've stamped on it and everything, but let's just take a little piece of dictionary paper and stick that right in there, and it gives it just a little more something. And as you know, I'm using what's laying around me, so if it doesn't look right and it doesn't match, that's kind of why. When I do these things, I tend to do that. But I shouldn't say that, because really, when I do my art, I just tend to grab what's close. So we have this, and it holds our paper clips. Or we can put our tags in it. As you can see, I should have let the glue dry longer. Now the tags are cute, and when I put them in the other one, they still look cute, but they just cover up so much of the pretty, so that's where I come up with the idea of putting the paper clips on there. It kind of just, I don't know, just kind of helps them have a little more dimension. And so now we'll take this, and I did my page using all of the same materials that I used here. I know, it's weird for me, but that's what I did. And now I will glue this down, and my page is complete. If you journal, you can still journal here and in here and wherever you want. But now I have a completed page. Thanks for watching.